Hello, welcome to Practicing the Pause with Phil. Glad you could be here. Who needs to pause? I do. Let me get to my share screen here. So I'm so glad that you're here. Uh, so glad that you've decided to join us to practice the pause. That you're interested in your self care and want to learn more about wellness. And so I am. I'm so glad that you're here to practice the pause today on this Wellness Wednesday. On this Wellness Wednesday. I am a little bit less stressed today than I was last week. Last week, things just didn't go as planned. I was trying to log on and had some technological difficulties as I tried to get on the Facebook and and to get going. But this time, I was aware of it. I'd already experienced it last time when they asked me, about the question about doing something different. I didn't have to. Uh, Identify as not being a robot and pick out different pictures that didn't have stoplights and all that. And so, sometimes when we have already seen something before, we already gone through something, we're less apt to be stressed. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit today is stress. What is stress and how do we deal with it? And, I would like just to practice the pause. That's what the name of this class is, this course is practicing the pause. And maybe you're joining us for the first time. You're not exactly sure what practicing the pause is. It's a mindfulness technique that we use to slow down, slow down. A lot of us can be so stressed at times with so much things that we have, so many things that we have going on. And so we've got to be reminded of to practice the pause, to relax and let go and not be as stressed. We'll talk about some of the things that stress brings into our life. And to do that, last time we were here that we gathered together online for this practicing the pause this past Wednesday, we talked about empowerment, using our words to describe how we feel. So if I was to ask you, how do you feel when you are stressed? So instead of just saying I feel stressed, talk about exactly what you're feeling. I think with power of the words will help us to gain control of our feelings and what we feel at the moment, or some of the things that's happening to us. And so, a lot of times when I feel stressed, my mind can feel cluttered. I have trouble thinking. You ever notice that when you feel stressed, some of the simplest things you try to do, maybe it feels like you're fidgety or a lot of times I like to have tea, and maybe when I'm stressed, if I try to pick up a glass or whatever it might be, I might spill it. And then what happens when you do that? You feel even more stressed, right? Because things aren't going the way that you want them to, and you just kind of get unraveled. Anybody ever get like that when you're stressed? You can't do the simplest things. You can't pick up an object, or you just seems like you make a mess of things because it seems like the body gets so tense. Sometimes we just feel impatient. We get impatient, short with others. If we're feeling stressed and maybe somebody asks us a question, might get snappy with them. Might start yelling or whatever it might be. We feel more impatient when we're stressed. Our mind feels cluttered. We're not able to think clearly. We feel impatient. We feel sometimes rushed, like we don't have enough time. We get irritable, like I said. Irritability is a big one there. I think when we get stressed, uh, and a lot of times we can panic, right? So we feel rushed. We start panicking because we're not going to get something done in time, or we're not going to make it to an appointment in time. A lot of times this is how we react when we're stressed. But we talked about this last week about using descriptors, using words to really hone in how we're feeling in the moment. Mindfulness is all about bringing awareness to the moment, what we're feeling there in the moment. So instead of just saying I feel stressed, think of some other ways that you could talk about that stress. I feel that I'm impatient. I feel rushed. I feel irritable. Uh, I feel like I'm not doing a good enough job. You know, uh, if we talk about some of the ways that we feel when we are stressed, it might help us to get some of the power back, um, and to feel empowered. Uh, Another question I want to bring up today, since we talked about that one last time, Where do you feel stress in your body? Where do you feel stress in your body? Maybe you're feeling stressed right now, or you have earlier today, and uh, maybe just think about the times that you felt stress. Where do you feel it in your body? And this is key to what we'll be talking about. Is that stress is more than a feeling. Stress affects our body, the way our body functions. It can affect our immune system and all these other parts of our body, our hearts. Um, it affects all parts of our body. So where do you feel stress in your body when you're going through a stressful situation or you're feeling stress in your day? For me, my heart begins to beat real fast. You ever notice that when you're stressed? It's like your heart's beating fast. Maybe you start feeling hot and sweaty. Your body temperature rises. You start tensing up, like I was talking about with the tea. You go to you go to reach for something. You go to reach for a glass, and since you're so tense, you end up knocking it over. You make a mess. Stress affects our body. Stress affects our body. It causes health conditions, harmful health conditions. Sometimes we start breathing heavier. You ever notice that about your breath? When you get stressed, you start breathing faster because your heart's beating faster. Now, since we are talking about practicing the pause, this is what we did last week. Uh, Last week we were able to associate a color with our stress. If you might think of a color, what comes to mind there? We talked about, maybe a red or an orange or shape, that you might associate with stress. Uh, Now I want you to think about calm, right? So we can change our mind, right? We were just thinking about stress, how we feel like when we're stressed. Now I'll start thinking about how do you feel when you're calm, when you feel relaxed, and calm and relaxed. The power of words. Just sometimes talking about feeling calm and feeling relaxed. Sometimes just the words, the power of words. Talk about the other different states, the states of being. One of the states is feeling calm and relaxed. How do you feel when you're calm and relaxed? You feel less tense. Your heart begins to slow down some. You're able to just enjoy the moment and just be in the moment. This is practicing the pause. We can use mindfulness and bring awareness to how we're feeling, By bringing awareness, by being mindful of it, we can change our state of being. Last week we talked about visualizing an image, an environment of a place where you feel relaxed. Place where you feel relaxed. That's what I continually try to emphasize when we begin practicing the pause is the importance of environment. That you get in an environment that you're able to stop all the distractions, right? Turn off whatever needs to be turned off, whatever's going to be distracting you. Know that you're taking care of yourself right now, here in this moment. That you're bettering yourself. That you're calming down. That's okay to do that. It's okay to practice self-care, to slow down. Slow down. You don't have to always be in a rush. Slow down. Practice the pause, mindfulness. So again, think of that place that uh, brings comfort, brings calm to you, that relaxes you. Think of that place. Get it in your mind here before we start. Last week I mentioned that I have a hammock on my porch that I like to sit in, where I take deep breaths and I can meditate there and just let go. And that's kind of I'm a reminder there that there's a place where I can go to, that I can seek calm, that I can seek relaxation. And on Facebook earlier, as I made this post about the class today, I said that stress finds us. Stress finds us, right? You can just be going in your day and something happened and you find yourself stressed out. You find yourself in stress. Relaxation and calm is something that we have to seek after. We have to intentionally seek after. And so here on this Wellness Wednesday, practicing the pause, we have set a time for ourselves to practice self-care. And we'll do that by learning some tools. I've mentioned in the past about EAT, EAT, EAT is education, awareness, and tools. And so I've mentioned here that practicing the pause, I want it to be practical. I want it to be very practical here about what we're exploring, about what we're learning. I want us to give us good tips about how we can find that calm, how we can find that relaxation, how we can learn about wellness and practice the tools that wellness offers, like mindfulness, like bringing awareness. And so, do you still have that place in your mind, that calming place, or did your mind automatically go to what you have to do and you're thinking about these other tasks and things that you have to get done? And the mind's so quick to wander, isn't it? So quick to wander and think about all these obligations, thinking about everything we have to get done instead of just being. We're human beings, not human doings. We're human beings. And so it is a practice of learning how to be, what state we want to be in, that we can go back to the calming and relaxing state, that we don't have to stay in that stressful state. We can learn to get into the relaxing and calm state, that true place of being, So think about that place. Do you have a favorite place that you found where you can relax, that you can unwind, that you can breathe easy? Do you have a place like that? And so often, our homes are supposed to be that place where we can find that safety and that serenity, and we have to create that. We talk about wellness in dimensions. 8 dimensions is what we practice there at the Recovery Center. You see it there at the bottom of this page. This design that I made on wellness about practicing the pause. You see them in that circle there. This wellness, be well and do well. We have to intentionally go after wellness, and environment is one of those dimensions. Do you have that place where you can go to that relaxes you, that brings calm to you? Have you created that space? And I want these practicing the pause to be a safe place for us. We might be in the virtual world now, but I hope that when you log on, when you're watching these classes, that you're creating that environment. You're turning off distractions. You're able to be present in the here and now, to look after your self-care and your own state of well-being. That you'll be on this journey of wellness with us as we continue to learn about what wellness is. But we'll practice this together. And so some of the ways that I've talked about in the past of creating that environment of wellness, uh, I've I've heard some folks joke about it and whatever, about my teas. I like my teas. Teas will help me to get into that relaxing, calming state of being that I want to be. And that's something I had to discover about what some of the teas can do. There's some natural resources found in these teas that can help reduce anxiety and stress. And so, as I've been learning about some of these tools that we can implement in our life to help us with our wellness, I've tried to share, and tea is one of them. Tea is that calming environment for me. I can smell it, right? So you've got aromatherapy there, and then I've got the taste. With wellness, you can really engage your senses within your environment, right? Whether it be colors, maybe you've got some calm, soothing colors that you like. Maybe you painted your walls. Maybe you've got a room there at your house that you've painted that wall. That when you see that color, it can help bring you into that relax and that calm. I just bought a light for my office, and it's got different colors that it goes through, different sequences that it goes through, and as you touch it, it can stop at a particular color. So maybe you found that a color helps kind of calm you, whether it be like a green or some type of orange, or I don't know all the spectrum of colors. I know there's a lot of colors out there, but maybe there's a color that really speaks to you, and maybe it'll help bring you into that calm and that state of being. So we can visualize an environment. Do you visualize an environment? Do you still have that there, an environment in your head? What are some of the colors that you see in this environment? If it's maybe it's a tropical place, maybe it's a room that you go to. What are some of the colors that might come to your mind that can bring you into that calm? We talked about the color of stress. right? So what is a color of calm that you might think of that will help you to get in that state? We can visualize those colors, and then not only visualize, but we can start putting it in our environment. So, so maybe there's a place, maybe that you can find yourself under a lot of stress. Maybe it's the workload. Are you taking maybe a workload home? Are you doing some work from home? Or what about office? Do you find yourself feeling more stressed at the workplace? Maybe that's something for you to consider. Is your environment? Is there a way that you can change your environment so that you can feel more peaceful when you're there? And I think evidence has shown that when we're able to get into that mindset, into that mind frame of being calm, about practicing self care, we're actually more productive in what we do. I think I read something about we're 45 minutes more productive than we would be without practicing self care. So you might even think that this class that you're not getting anything done, right? Have you ever felt like that? That when you're relaxing, when you're taking it easy, when you're practicing mindfulness, that you might feel like, hey, I'm this is an hour of my time here, and I'm not getting as much done. But science and evidence has shown when you practice the pause, when you're taking the self care, when you're looking and mindful of your wellness, that you actually be more productive than you would have been without it. And so it's important. This is very important for us all, not only for our health. All right, a lot of people will equate health with wellness, which is in part true. Part of it's true because, like I said, these are dimensions. These are 8 dimensions of wellness, and physical is one of the dimensions. And so we want to get back to that place of relaxation, right? That you are doing something important here with your time. It's not a waste of time just to put everything else on pause and practice the pause here. This is important what you're doing, and I want to commend you all for being here and practicing the pause. It's important. It's important. So again, think back to that place of relaxation, of comfort that you have there in your mind. Think about the colors. Think about maybe it's the sounds or smells. Like I said, aromatherapy is part of it. So when I can smell that tea, it can help me to get into that relaxation, that calm state of being. And then I add another sense, right? So it's not just smell, right? I can see it. A lot of times pouring it, I can be mindful of how I pour my tea. Try to be there in the moment, not to be rushed. If I'm rushed, I'm going to be spilling it, be stressed, right? So you be mindful of how you pour the tea, mindful how you drink the tea, mindful of how you get the aroma there to calm you down, and mindful of the taste. Is there something that you have found, whether it be a food? And a lot of times when we are stressed, I was looking at that earlier about stressful eating. They use mindful techniques to help folks with stressful eating. One of the ladies that was looking at getting help for her stressful eating said that she was there at home, and her kids were kind of running around, and she got angry at them, I think, for leaving the Doritos on the table. And before she knew it, she was eating the Doritos. And she said she wasn't even hungry, but she was eating the Doritos. That's stressful eating. And mindfulness has been proven to help with that. To help with that. So there might be some type of foods that could help. Like I said, I like the teas. I think that's what I found so far that really helps with stress and anxiety, and to help me get back into that calm place. And so, again, think of that place that you have, and if you don't have, write that down. Say, write it down on a sheet of paper, and say, I need to look at my environmental wellness. Write that down. Write it down, and how you want to go about implementing that, whether it be in the office space. Uh, some folks will use sounds. Right, I've got some relaxation sounds here in the background that you might be able to hear. That helps. That helps. It's there in the background. I'm aware of it. I know it's there. I'm not just focusing on that sound, but it's helping because I'm implementing this all into my environment. Might be a picture that you use, something that you look at to see that will bring you calm. Bring you calm. Like I said, it could be a color. A lot of times this imagery is used for deep relaxation. You might have heard that before. Deep relaxation. That's a state of being that we want to get into to help not only with our health, but to help with our overall sense of well-being. Uh, the experience of deep relaxation, that's what I'm reading, what I'm researching. The experience of deep relaxation takes you to a state of profound tranquility with a sense of safety, comfort, and freedom. This is not an altered state of consciousness, but rather a natural state that each of us came into life knowing and being able to enjoy. Although it might have been many years since you last experienced it, entering deep relaxation simply requires freeing your attention from distractions. And so that's what I've tried to bring awareness to when we start in these classes, to silence all distractions. Do you have that hour that you can just sit and practice the pause? That you can turn off distractions. It's important. It's important because this is a practice that we're learning, and we'll get better at it as we continue to do it. But it's important that we do silence all those distractions if you're able to do so. And we record these meetings, we record these classes and this course, and we put it on YouTube that you can go back to. We have a YouTube account that you can sign up and that you can follow us on there, that you'll be able to learn these tools. But we want to do this. We want uh, to free ourselves, free our attention from distractions with this hour here, to be able to learn some of these tools and learn about wellness. And so this what's called deep relaxation. It's a state that we can get into, state of being that we can get into, and it's valuable for three reasons, for three important reasons, three key reasons. It's the direct antidote to stress. So we're talking about stress. What can we do about our stress? Deep relaxation is a tool, if we learn to practice it, that will help with our stress. It's a direct antidote to stress. It's a powerful tool for inhibiting unwanted behaviors. And it's the first step in deep healing. And, a lot of us, especially in recovery, we have dealt with so much stress, trauma. It can be trauma induced, where we've dealt with so much stress, and sometimes it can be difficult to get out of those states, to get out of that trauma, to not react in certain ways, to not resort to stress and living in stress. Sometimes it can be difficult just to calm ourselves down, to relax, to practice the pause, because sometimes it can seem like that there's so much going on in our minds, thought after thought after thought, just racing thoughts, racing thoughts. And so sometimes it can be hard just to slow down. That's why it's a practice. This is a practice, practicing the pause. This is the deep relaxation. Part of this is a technique, and we use imagery. Part of it is using imagery. That's why I was asking if you had that place where you could find solitude, where you could find quiet, where you could find relaxation, where you could find some serenity. If you had that place, because imagery is using our mind to take us to that place, to help calm us down. This deep relaxation, this exercise, is a cornerstone for the deep healing process. So we can bring healing to ourselves. We can bring healing to some of those past unresolved trauma by learning how to practice this tool, this technique. Um, and so, the first step to doing this is you have to make a decision. You have to make a decision, a conscious decision, to enter this state of deep relaxation by telling yourself that this is the most important thing for you to do at this moment. And that's what I keep on trying to bring up in the past, as we've been doing these courses, as we've been moving along. And this is important, this is valuable, and that I appreciate you being here to look after your own self care and your own wellness. But I hope that you see the importance for this. But this is the most important thing for you to do at this moment, and that you're safe. You're safe in letting go of any attention that you might otherwise be given to anything else. That's why I said silence the distractions. You're safe. You're safe in letting it go. Let go of any of the attention that you might otherwise be giving to anything else. And as you enter this deeply relaxed state, I haven't said before, while we're going through this, you might want to even just close your eyes. Just listen to the words. That might help you to kind of shut off the distractions. As you enter this deep, relaxed state, your heart will do its work unattended. You'll notice your breathing change, right? So if you're stressed before, when you were stressed before, we talked about it, what your body does, your heart might beat fast, but as we get into this deep, relaxed state, notice the power of words, the deep, relaxed state. Your heart will do its work unattended, and the air will breathe you. I like that. The air will breathe you. In fact, all the organs of your body will be working at their optimal levels as you deeply relax. You may deeply relax by simply taking a deep breath in. This is how we start practicing the pause. You may deeply relax by simply taking a deep breath in and then letting it out. Knowing that you have made this conscious decision to go ahead with this exercise. Some people find it's effective to think the following words to themselves or to actually say them out loud. I consciously choose to let everything else go at this moment in time, and I give myself permission to relax. Second step is to assure your deep mind and body that it's safe to relax. Your body and deeper mind depend on your thoughts and images to determine their actions. So they will not interpret any of the normal sounds and sensations of the external environment as requiring an immediate response. Think to yourself or say aloud words such as, there's no place I have to go right now. Nothing I have to do. No problem I have to solve. Therefore, this is a safe place and I can relax. And as you say these words, take in another deep breath. And as you let it out, allow your eyelids to close and think, relax. I'm moving toward a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. The third step is that there's many different ways to induce physical relaxation. You may have heard about some of them already. One of these involves systematically going through your body, either from the top of your head down to the tip of your toes. Anybody ever been in meditation or group meditation, guided meditation, where they use the body that you go from the head down to the tip of your toes, or in reverse order, imagining each part relaxing. Your head feels relaxed, and it moves all the way through your shoulders, that your shoulders are beginning relaxed, and you feel it in your arms, and your arms feeling relaxed, that you go through your hands, and your hands are feeling relaxed, that you go all the way to the tips of your fingers, and you feel your fingers relaxing, and then you go all the way down from your chest to your stomach, and you feel the body relaxing there, and all the way down to your legs, to your toes. You feel relaxed. You may visualize painting it in a relaxing color, like we have been talking about, using color to imagine well-being. A color. You might imagine that your body is becoming bit by bit light as a helium-filled balloon. You may also imagine that each exhalation of air, each exhale of air you are breathing tension out of your part of your body. And that's what we used in the past too, that you breathe in goodness, calm, you breathe in goodness, you breathe in calm, you breathe in relaxation, and you let go of stress, of any worry, of any tension by breathing out. You receive goodness and relaxation and calm as you breathe in, and you're releasing the tension, you're releasing stress as you exhale. Each in breath, you're bringing in a soothing feeling of peace and calm. This phase of the exercise should take from about 1 to 10 minutes, depending upon how tense you are and how familiar you are with the procedure. So if you've done these exercises before, maybe you find that you're a little bit easier to get into that state of being. If you haven't practiced this before, you might feel tense, you might feel antsy, you might feel like you got to be moving around all the time. You can't find just that ease and that comfort of getting into that calm and that relaxation state of being. That's why this is practice. It's practice. And I've heard people coming up and saying that they have trouble sitting still. They have trouble sitting still. They feel antsy. They feel like they're always moving, and their mind is always looking at the next thing that they have to get done. That they feel like they can't quiet their mind, and so many folks think that to get to that state of being, you've got to be thinking about nothing, and that's just untrue. A lot of teachers will say that our thoughts are like leaves going down a stream. You just watch them as they go on by. And we'll use breathing techniques here. We use a breathing tool to concentrate on our breath. So when we're breathing in, whether you do it with eyes open or eyes closed, a lot of folks use their eyes closed. It helps them to center themselves and to imagine that state of calm and that state of relaxation. Uh, uh, and so when the thoughts come, you just want to be aware of them. You don't want to judge them. You notice that they're there, and just like a stream going down, or just as a leaf going down a stream, you see them passing, and then you come back to your breath. In and out. You're always coming back to the now, being present. Not thinking about all that stuff you got to do that's out here and out there. Think about being present in the now. Watch those thoughts as they're going by. Come back to your breath, in and then out. And we talked about before how through one of my meditations, I was able to see that the connectedness of it all, this interdependence of the breathing and our environment, right? So I could think of my breathing as a wheel, in and out, in and out. You can even visualize that if you wanted to. I think a good visual is the ocean. We talked about that before. The in and the out. The in and the out. And see, it's connected there. See how it's connected. The fourth step that we want to do, this is helping with our stress. This will help with your stress. This is a tool that I feel like it's needed to be shared about this time of deep relaxation. Like I shared before, deep relaxation is a direct antidote to stress. A direct antidote to stress. And so the fourth step, we've already talked about a couple of steps there. One, we have to decide to be here in the now, to let go of everything else, to know that this is a safe place, and to get into physical relaxation. This is part of it. We look at our breathing, in and the out. There are also a number of ways to achieve mental relaxation. So we look at physical relaxation and mental relaxation. Mental relaxation. One of the simplest is to imagine yourself floating through time and space to a very comfortable, very safe environment. That's why we've been looking at our environments. It could be a peaceful tropical beach, a mountaintop, a beautiful garden, or a very beautifully decorated room in a safe, quiet house. This may be an actual place you've been, a place you would like to go, or a completely imaginary place. Some people simply imagine themselves floating on a cloud high above the earth, while others construct elaborate structures such as castles and parapets and moats. So after you decide, or you let your deeper mind suggest to you the place you want to go, let yourself begin to visualize it. This is why we use imagery, this visualization, and use all your senses. And that's why I was talking about earlier about, uh, if you can actually discover some of those things that will help you to use your senses with smell. The more senses that I think we can incorporate, I think the better off we're going to be to help with our wellness, to get to that state that we want to be in. And it's so good now that I can actually discover things that's going to benefit me, and using other substances. I misuse them. I misuse other substances to try to get me to that place, and they cause more harm and addiction. Uh, they really did harm to myself, and so now it's looking at different things I can implement into my life that's going to bring goodness into my life. That will help bring that calm. And so, we begin to visualize these things. We use our senses. We look at colors and sounds and sensations and even temperature. And even the aromatherapy, like fragrances or smells that we can use. And like I said, the more senses that we can employ, the better. Imagine that in this place, you not only become physically more relaxed, but mentally more relaxed, entranced by the beauty of peacefulness of this environment. Of course, as your mind begins to let go of its usual concerns, things from lower down on your mental to-do list leap into consciousness and try to occupy your attention. Like I said, think of your thoughts as leaves going down a stream. Uh, you see them in passing, then you come back. You come back to your breath. Your job at this moment is not to figure anything out or to make plans. There's nothing from the past that you need to be concerned with, and the future can wait. Simply let the thoughts drift by like those leaves or like clouds drifting across a blue sky and disappearing over the horizon. Imagine the thoughts floating away like dead leaves on a swiftly moving stream. Each time a thought comes along, take a deep breath in. Then, as you let it out, imagine the thought floating away out of sight. Gradually, fewer and fewer thoughts come. There are more and more spaces or lulls between those thoughts. It's in these lulls that you will experience the deepest state of relaxation. This phase should take anywhere from about 2 to 6 minutes. And so we get into that place. We set aside a time intentionally to practice this technique, this deep relaxation. We cut out all of our distractions. Like I said, this is intentional. We need to set intentional time and plan for our self wellness, for our own wellness. Plan it. Are you making those plans, or do you see that your days are just filling up with more and more to do lists that you have less time for yourself? This has got to be intentional. Wellness has to be intentional, and we have to set time to practice this. And this is so good that we can do this here on Wednesdays. And I hope that you really are learning something as we go along with this. Uh, so we've looked at different uh, visualizations. There's imagery that we can recall to help us get into that calm. We look at our environment. We set aside time intentionally to cancel all of these distractions that might come up, to practice our personal wellness. Relaxation imagery. This is the fifth step, is to deepen and maintain the state. So you can now use imagery to take you even deeper into a relaxed, peaceful state. So I hope, as we began, I asked, if you thought of a place that you would write that down, that you have that on a piece of paper, you written down. And so this would help as you encounter stress. You can say, okay, I'm feeling stressed. I need to intentionally seek wellness. I need to practice a pause. And, you can even say that. I need to practice the pause. I need to get back into that state that I need to be in. And we talked a little bit last time about the brain, about when we're in stress. You remember that from last time about the reptile brain? When we're stressed, we resort to that reptile brain, and our thoughts and our thinking and our actions and our decision making, the rational part, kind of comes unglued. It comes unhinged, and we resort to that reptile brain where we begin to freeze or fight or flight. We're just reacting. Instead of responding. And so, with that deep relaxation, it'll help us to respond. It'll help us to respond, to calm down and be able to use our full capacity of our brain to make good decisions for our well-being. And so, when we find ourselves in a state of stress, the more we practice this, the easier I think it'll be to get into that calm state of being that we want to be in. Uh, and so, relaxation imagery, about thinking about this location, and I hope you do have a physical location. We can use an imaginary one if you don't have one right now, but I really hope that you will consider making that place that you can get to. I think it'll come a little bit easier for the purposes of this deep relaxation tool and exercise that we're learning about. It'll be easier for you to get into it. Just like I use several times. I'll bring it up again and again about these teas, and I've even got a candle here next to me. It helps me to get into that place I want to be, even the music there in the background. Whatever that you can use that's going to indulge your senses healthfully. Healthfully. You want to be using the right things to get you there. Things that's going to better your life and help you to get into this state of being of calm that we're after, this deep relaxation. Um, and so we use this imagery to take us deeper into a relaxed and peaceful state. You might imagine yourself walking along a shore of a peaceful lake. Perhaps you imagine a boat rocking on the gentle waves near a dock. If drifting out onto the lake in this boat sounds relaxing to you, you might effortlessly imagine yourself filling the boat with pillows and floating out on the gentle waters. If you then imagine it might be nice if this boat were floating on the clouds instead of the lake, you can imagine it floating upwards into the clouds. As you grow more and more accustomed to relaxing, your deeper mind will offer more relaxing ideas and images. That's why I want to practice this. The suggestions that come from your deeper mind are generally the most effective. It knows what it needs. Isn't that so cool? We'll be talking about that as we go along, about intuition, about knowing what we need. We'll be learning more about that. You may allow yourself to stay in this deep, relaxed state for 5 to 15 minutes. At the end of this time, you may awaken yourself or give yourself some affirmations first. And so that's the sixth step is affirmations. Do you use affirmations? What are affirmations? I was thinking about before this class about encouragement, and I received a card in the mail, and I think it's so good to hear and receive encouragement. And I just want to tell you all out there that you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. You're making a difference. You're making an impact. I might not know you. I might not know exactly what you're doing, but if you're here today, you are on your way. You're on this recovery journey. You're on this wellness journey, and you're doing a good job. You're doing a good job. You really are. We are trying to be mindful of where we're at today with our self care, and affirmations are important. What are affirmations? We speak affirmations. You ever hear about affirmations? Do you use part of affirmations in your recovery journey for your wellness? Affirmations are part of the imagery process. They are spoken imagery, just as what you're picturing within is visual imagery. The affirmations are spoken imagery. In the present experience, you want your affirmations to reinforce your ability to relax. So here are some examples of affirmations you might use. You might say when you are getting to this place of deeper relaxation, you might say that an affirmation might be, I am peaceful, comfortable, and deeply relaxed. I've seen some folks have some boards and maybe even sticky notes that they write affirmations for themselves. It's an affirmation you can look at and you can read, you can say to yourself, and these are some examples. I am peaceful, comfortable, and deeply relaxed. Another one could be my mind, my body, my emotions, and spirit are all at peace. Another one could be each time I relax, I am able to feel the temperature, even smell the fragrance of this place. Like I continue to say, the more senses you can employ, the better. So I've got a candle over here that's got a nice scent to it. I've got a tea that's got a nice taste to it. I can see it when I'm pouring it. I can smell it. I've got the music relaxing there in the background. That's relaxing there in the background that I can listen to that can help bring me calm. Another affirmation that we could say to ourselves is, I'm allowing relaxation to heal me at every level. Healing. Isn't that so cool? Relaxation can bring healing. We'll understand a little bit more why that's so when we go along. But as a person in recovery, as somebody that has gone through a lot of stress in life and trauma, uh, I need more and more relaxation, and to be able to practice this is important. It can bring healing. I'm allowing relaxation to heal me at every level. Another affirmation we might say to ourselves is, I can re enter the state of deep relaxation anytime I want to, but only when I choose to. And the seventh step here is awakening. Awakening. Uh, Awakening is something of a misnomer since you have not really been asleep. Have you ever been in a deep relaxation? Maybe a meditation? Oh, it feels so good. Oh, it's just wonderful. The intuition that you get, some of the insight that you get. But the seventh step here is awakening. It's something of a misnomer since you have not really been asleep, and that's one of the questions I had asked too when I was practicing meditation. Is sometimes I did feel like myself was going into sleep, and I asked a teacher one time about meditation, who was teaching meditation about that, and he even gave me a tip too of walking meditation. Have you ever done walking meditation? It's possible. It's possible. But awakening is something as a misnomer since when we get into deep relaxation, the goal is not to fall asleep, even though sometimes folks do fall asleep. But that's not the point to get so relaxed where you fall asleep. Awakening is somewhat of a misnomer since you've not really been asleep. But it is accurate in that you have, in effect, been asleep to the outside world, your external environment, and now that you're relaxed, you're awakening back into your everyday state of mind. Isn't that so cool? When you cut off all the distractions, where we're just able to be a human being instead of a human doing. You've been asleep to the outside world, your external environment, and now that you're relaxed, you are awakening back into your everyday state of mind. Keep in mind that no matter how relaxed you've become, you'll always be able to snap back to wakefulness instantaneously, should you wish to. For example, if you hear your child crying down the hall, you would respond in your normal way. On the other hand, during this period of time, you have been very non responsive to ordinary stimuli, planes flying over, telephone ringing in another room, dogs barking, or even the television blaring in the living room. So here's how to reawaken yourself. First of all, it is usually best to come back slowly and gradually. Maybe you've been in meditation and they've used the bells or the sounds, a little peaceful sound there to gradually bring you back, slowly bring you back. It's usually best to come back slowly and gradually. By taking the time to come all the way back to being fully awake, you will not be left with a feeling of drowsiness, even though you will still feel quite relaxed. Furthermore, you will be able to better appreciate how deeply relaxed you have been. This practice also assures that all parts of you will reawaken together so you will not become uncomfortable or drowsy. And that's so cool, too. I always feel refreshed when I take that pause, when I am able to still myself, when I'm able to, I like calling it getting in the zone. When I'm in that place that I need to be, and you can do this after lunch. When is a good time for you to do it? This is just so good whenever I can get to it. And I've got to intentionally plan for it. But I do. I feel better. I feel like I'm able to do more because I've taken that time out. You'll be able to appreciate how deeply relaxed you have been when you do this. And this practice also assures that all parts of you will reawaken together so you will not be uncomfortable or drowsy. And so give yourself a minute or so to slowly come back. I hope that you've been able to do this. Give yourself a minute or so to slowly come back. You can imagine you are coming back into the room from deep down in a basement below you. Now you can imagine riding up on an elevator. Count to 10 and feel yourself coming up on the elevator floor by floor. You might also just gradually begin to bring each part of your body into focus, moving it a little bit, breathing a little more deeply, and finally letting your eyes open. As your eyes open, just take a few moments to enjoy what you see in front of you before getting up to go about your normal activities. And so, to conclude this reawakening portion, you can stand up. You might want to stretch. You can stretch your arms and legs. You can yawn if you feel like you need to yawn there, or doing what you usually do when you wake up from a comfortable sleep. Affirm to yourself the following positive, healthy qualities as you reawaken. Say this: as I reawaken, I come back feeling relaxed, refreshed, and alert. My body feels invigorated, my mind is clear, and my emotions are calm. And so, what we need to do each as we continue to go along is we can look at this practice, and we really need to repeat it. We need to repeat this practice. I've done a little bit more this time than I have in the past, but we need to practice it. That's why it's called practicing the pause. We need to practice to really learn how to do this new skill. And remember that just as it takes many repetitions to master skills such as riding a bicycle for the first time, learning to play tennis, or understanding a new program on your computer, so it requires regular practice and repetition to master the art of deep relaxation and the other deep healing skills that we'll learn. So thank you again for being here today, for being here, for being here, being present. Like I said, we are human being, not human doing, and this is what we need to intentionally do. We need to intentionally set aside a time to cancel all the noise, cancel all of our distractions, and just be. And so I hope that you have enjoyed this time, that you've learned something new, and thank you again for being here. And I hope that you feel a little bit better by being here. Um, and if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, uh, if you find that this is helping you, please write to us. We'd like to hear from you. Thank you again for being here on this Wellness Wednesday, and be well. Bye bye.